Hi, this is Brad Willis. I'm the moderator of the Metalstorm fan group. As you may or may not know from watching the videos, we're located on Facebook at www.facebook.com/groups/Metalstorm fan group. I think we have between 375 and 400 members right now. A lot of excellent players and good guys and gals. So if you haven't done so and have an interest, I'd certainly encourage you to join. So I'm doing this video by request, and it's a review of Condor. I had somebody that was interested in knowing a little more about it and checking out the characteristics of the plane, and so I thought I'd go ahead and comply. And because it is actually kind of an interesting plane, it's defense class, and you know, most of us don't fly defense class in Versus, but this one, if you wanted to, you could. It actually is an interesting plane, and it's kind of a fun plane to fly. For a defense class plane, it's got a very stable feel to it, I would say. And I've won games against. I don't use it very often, frankly, in Versus, but I've won games against agility class. Now let's talk about Condor a little bit. As I mentioned, it is defense class. What makes this plane unique is it has a high armor regeneration going down to the bottom statistic here. Plus 6%. So if you are careful about how you take your shots, I should say, then this thing will actually regenerate armor pretty quickly. It won't do it as fast as the Green Eagle, which has been discontinued, but it'll do it pretty quick, and it'll do it faster than the Red Dragon. Missile reload 14%. Now this is not quite the same situation as with the weapons class planes, because if you are at anything close to a 14 or even a 10 for that matter, with weapons class, in fact, we'll look at the plane here for a second while I'm talking. You can see it's kind of a nice looking plane, but it would make a really significant difference. Defense class has a very slow weapons reload to begin with, so even though you're increasing it by 14%, it still is much slower than with agility or weapons class planes, but it does certainly help. Missile tracking plus 6 is actually very useful. Once you fire, you have a much better chance that you're going to hit your target, and that is a noticeable and important statistic in my opinion. And again, you have a plus 10 damage, which when you hit somebody, you're going to hit them harder. So the plane is not super agile, but again, it's fun to fly and it is formidable. Now, I'm going to do two things with this review. I'm going to play a very small amount of survival just to kind of show you how it performs there, and then I'm going to jump out of that and jump into a versus match, which you never know how you're going to do it versus with defense class planes. You know, if I get somebody with Biznos and they're just nailing me and not giving me a chance for my armor to regenerate, it could be bad. But if I get somebody that doesn't have, you know, Biznos or Lancers and or isn't hitting me constantly, sometimes you can win those games. So the plane might look real good and it might look real bad. It's going to depend on the opponent. But what I'm going to do first of all is just go over to campaign. And we'll just do or not campaign, I'm sorry, I meant survival mode. And we'll just do a single player survival mode, and I'm not going to play very long, but I'll just let you see how it looks. So you see here we go, wave 1. Obviously you take out the first couple of waves real early, and you'll see obviously it's going to take one shot, and boom, I'm using credit missiles and stock cannon as usual. You can see the video is a little jerky, but I think that's okay for our purposes. That should take that out in one shot. Here's another target that should take that out in one shot. Now we'll get into some of the other rounds. It might take a little bit more. I'm not going to do too many waves with this sucker. I'm going to slow it all the way down just so you can see how big it is. I think that'll take that out in one shot. I'm going to go full throttle now just so I head toward him. Actually, let's turn toward the next target. We'll go full throttle. You see that tracking. You saw how it actually kicked up and to the right pretty significantly. So the tracking, again, is a very useful statistic. Let's just take a couple of these guys out. That'll probably be one shot. We'll do a little cannon on these guys, and hopefully we'll take those guys out. And probably 4 waves is enough. So, you know, you can see I'm just going to fly around here for a minute with the plane, do a little bit of maneuvering. Let's take a shot at this guy, and then we'll do a little backflip here just to see what it looks like. So somebody took a shot at me. Well, let me let it get hit. Watch the armor regen. So hopefully these guys in wave 5, I should say, can do some damage and fire at me. I know they will in later rounds. Doesn't look like they're shooting at me really. I was hoping they put a little damage on me, but what I wanted to demonstrate is the armor. Let me just fly straight ahead and let's hope that some of them shoot at me. and I want to try to demonstrate. In fact, I was trying to do a backflip. We'll just backflip and slow down. Let's just let him hit at me with missiles. So watch him hit me. You can see my my bar up at the top. Look at the regen. You can see it's actually very quick. Now you see I'm fully regenerated in terms of my energy, or not energy, in terms of my armor. Now I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to flip back, and hopefully they'll just start hitting me. Let's see. Okay, so here comes a missile. Let's see how much damage it does. Now watch the regen. See that? Very, very, very quick. Not as good as Green Eagle, but that's still very quick. So if they're hitting you constantly, they can blow you up. But if it's just a couple of little shots, you can see your armor will regenerate very quickly. So I think that's probably enough of the survival mode. So let's go ahead, and I think I'll just crash here. And game over, excuse me. Clear my throat. And so we're going to go to menu, and we'll actually do a head-to-head here. We'll do a versus and see how this thing does. Sometimes it's surprisingly good, and sometimes not. So let's see. Okay, well, this can be very, very tough. I got probably a back-flipping Liberty, with Bisno. So this could get ugly in a hurry. But, hey, we're going to do our best. I'm trying to stay out of his wheelhouse. You can see I don't have huge agility, but what I do have is a lot of energy. Now watch that. Watch my armor at the top. Let's see. There he is. Okay, let's put some damage on him right in front of me. That was nice of him to just sit there in front of a slow defense class plane. Now I'm coming around. I'm just trying to kind of stay out of his wheelhouse. There he is. Oh, I was hoping I could get a little quasi no lock on him, but I can't. Again, he hit me again. Let's watch that armor. Now what I got to do is try to keep from getting hit too much. I got to let that armor have a chance to regenerate, because what do I got? A third left. Now it is going to regenerate pretty quickly, but if I keep getting nailed with coin weapons, it's not going to be so great. So I'll just throw a couple shots out there just to make him wonder what's going on. You see I'm rolling away from the arrow. So what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to get a shot on the guy, and I'm also trying to stay away from his coin weapons. Here he is. So I was hoping we could hit him. Now look at my armor up at the top. You can see that I have substantial regeneration. I got the phone ringing, so I'm actually going to walk in the other room while I do this. So we're going to continue to follow that arrow. And right now I have a fully recharged armor. And so hopefully I'll get lucky and be able to put a couple shots on him. He's probably kind of aggravated. But you can see that he's not really doing much damage on me. Of course, I'm trying not to allow him to do much damage to me here. So, give me a sec here. I'm going to continue to follow it. In fact, I'm tempted to open up on him a little bit, because I can blow him up under the right circumstances. Although I got to be able to get a shot on him too, which I can't do. But if I got a back-flipping Liberty with coin weapons, and I can just draw, especially with a full armor on the guy. Well, okay, we lost a little bit, but again, we should be able to regenerate pretty quickly here. I'm actually accelerating, and I'm trying to open up on him a little bit, because I'd like to kill him. I'd like to beat him. I don't know if I can do that or not. Probably not with 17 seconds. But I think he's got to respect this plane too, because he should know by now he's not doing much damage to me. Well, it's not going to be. I think this is just going to be a draw, 0-0. But you can see the agility's pretty good. You can see that he's not really able to keep a lot of shots on me. Well, we had a draw, 0-0, you can see. So, and I got 15 medals, which is kind of cool. So, but the fact, again, that a defense class plane, with basic weapons and very little agility can go head to head with a back-flipping Liberty, good skill player using coin weapons, and you saw when we ended, I was pretty much close to full armor, I believe, is pretty impressive. So we'll go back to the plane for just a second. There you go. And that is Condor. I think it is a worthwhile plane. Again, it's not ideal for versus, but you can play it in versus, and it's kind of fun. It's actually a fun plane to fly. And I think if you do survival, I think it's a very good plane. I think it's one of the better choices, especially if you're trying to get into the upper tiers of survival. Sometimes people say, is it better than Red Dragon. I'm scrolling up. I assume it's, yeah, here's Red Dragon. I'm not really sure, to tell you the truth, but I will tell you that I think Condor is more of a fun plane to fly. So there you go. That is my review of Condor. I hope it's something you found useful. If you have any questions or comments, as always, you can leave them on YouTube in the comments section. I'd like to thank you for your time, and as always, look forward to seeing you in the skies playing Metalstorm.